What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 4. Super excited to talk
my
all
God,
things
we're up to
anime
4?
and nerdy stuff. Right, we're almost a full hand. Yes,
Ow. Ow!
yes, it's almost 5. Yeah, all right, 4 episodes. So thank you everybody who's been along this journey with us. And if you're joining and you're new, awesome, welcome. If you're watching this live, join in the live chat. We already got people in there chatting. Welcome. And if you're watching it later, comment down below. I'm Kari Lane and joined by my awesome co-host this way.
Hey, I'm Katie
I
Cullen.
will remember.
Oh, nope. I'm used to being on the other side, and therefore habit has betrayed me.
I know. I was like, ooh, we're like flip-flop this time. It's all good.
Over here? Oh, no.
It's magic. You've been transported. Yes. But yeah, we're talking Demon Slayer, and we're talking about the most current episode, episode 6. So if you've seen, don't watch yet if you haven't seen episode 6, and don't talk about past episode 6 because we have seen the film, but we're only going up to this part. And I will wave. I like this comment. I'll wave back. Hello. Yes. Weirdos, welcome everybody. Waves, hi weirdos. Yes. What's up?
Oh, wait back. Hi, weirdos.
Yes, all welcome here. But yes, let's get into, yep, this is our banner. Let's get in. Pardon?
It's us. We live.
Yes, this is us. This is us already. But first off, before we get into Demon Slayer, we're going to talk about some things we are excited about. Katie, did you have anything that jumped off the top of your head of things you're excited about this week?
Well, keeping it on the Demon Slayer subject, they are releasing the movie in physical form. So if you are a Blu-ray, DVD, Steelbook kind of person, they will have Funimation will have that release out for you. I don't remember the exact date.
December 21st. Wait.
Thank you.
Yeah, December 21st.
So just in time for, well, that particular holiday at least.
Yes, the holiday season for sure. Also, if you're a fan of One Piece, Robotech, and Harakuna Receive, those will also be available throughout the month. So check out Funimation.com for more information. I was looking I was trying to see if there's any other. Pardon?
No, just speaking of One Piece, congrats on your 1000th episode, guys.
Yes. That was very exciting. It was just the other day. They had a big thing at the New York anime. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of
a hell of a watch party.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So yeah, congrats to all the One Piece fans. You made it to 1,000 episodes. Holy cow. That is so many.
And then Demon Slayer.
We made it 4.
Back to Demon Slayer, for the movie, the Mugen Train, it is a certified 98% on certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's pretty awesome. So
I'm kind of curious as to who the other 2% were. Like, you do.
I want to go with people who aren't like huge anime people. Yeah. I'd go with maybe it's not quite their jam or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah. This wasn't for me. I don't understand it.
Yes.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
And then a little bit of, for all the mobile game fans out here, don't mind me, I'm looking over at my screen to read the info. So it is, Gummy Inc. is launching a collaboration between mobile game The Alchemist Code and a combination with the popular manga and anime, The 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're a fan of that, that will be a collaboration between the 18th of November, so just a few days ago, and all the way through December 8th. And so during this limited time collaboration, players will be able to summon knights from the 7 Sins, a member of the 10 Commandments, Zeldris, and the Princess Alliance from the land of Britannia. So that's a fun crossover. So go check. I was like, where can I see? Trying to scroll down if I see where you should go check that out. Yes.
Would download the game.
Look up Alchemist Code for more information. Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Also, a thing to be excited about this coming up this weekend is the Comic-Con special edition. It is this Friday through Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. And Fanversation will be there, so be sure to tune in to the social medias and see subsequent possible articles. Yours truly is going. Thank you.
Yeah, she's
And
going. I'm going
yes,
elsewhere.
I'll be there. Yes. And then also tune in for Fanversation's YouTube page, which you are here. Make sure to click that subscribe button. There'll be an interview coming soon about a certain animated movie, because if you're here, you probably like animation, so stay tuned for that. Alrighty.
I appreciate an interview about a certain animated movie. It's an enigma wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in another enigma.
Yes, we gotta keep it a mystery and exciting here, Yes,
We're building hype.
Yes, exactly. So then we have, here it goes. I'm trying to get down to there we go. Time to talk some demons. Yes, Demon Slayer, my goodness. I am so glad there are more subsequent episodes of this, because that ends on such a cliffhanger, and it's kind of weird to watch after watching the movie, because you go, okay, I know where this is going, and like how it ends there, you're like, oh my gosh, I would immediately be like, play next, like don't ask me. Absolutely.
I was trying to guess at which point they would cut it off for the episode.
Yes.
Especially since the first half was all the denouement from the train fight. And I remember sitting in the theater for the first time and going, all right, we beat the titular demon. The train has derailed because, again, this was a stupid plan.
Yes. And as it was dying, it was so like, man, like I'm so it's like on its side.
That very dramatic reach, and it's like, But that's the point where we're sitting here going, all right, this is wrapped up. That felt short. Why is there 30 minutes left in the movie? Oh no. Oh no. Enter this guy. What's the name? Azaka? Was that it?
Akaza. AKAZA.
I have the consonants backwards. I'm good at this. I might have the vowels backwards too, but it doesn't matter because they're all A's. Yeah. It's okay. The thing was really horny. Like, on his end, it's like, are you sure you just want to fight, Rengoku? You did just ask him to be your life partner in combat. Like,
he's like, hey. Well, he does walk around shirtless. So, he's ready for action. He's halfway there. I don't know. Like,
this. I mean, I'm Ace, so of course, the exception of this is absolutely. But this really struck me as like, nah, dude. He's horny. He's like fight horny, but not the usual hot-blooded shonen raring for a fight. He's like, no, this is something else. You okay?
Well, it's very, it could almost level in the kingdom of like, you want to be my subservient and like, yes, come join me. I'm gonna be in charge of you. And it's like
fight partner. It wasn't his life partner. It was heterosexual fight partner. I'm like, okay. This is horny.
Yeah, and then poor Tanjiro's laying there, like, looking back, like, what's going on?
I could have died.
Yes.
I love this. Just breathe your wound closed.
That was cool. Well, this is this is going to come back again later, because that's so cool that they better do this, like, subsequently later. And our good boy Tanjiro is like, I can't die, because that's going to make that dude a murderer. Not I'll be dead. It's going to make somebody a murderer. I was like, dude, your priorities need some help. Yeah,
oh no, he's a good boy. I appreciate the complete clash of Inosuke's law of the jungle. Like, well, his leg shattered and he won't be able to walk, so we'll just leave him to the wolves. And Tanjiro's very good boy going, you still need to save his life, though? Just do that for me. Just do that for me.
Yeah.
It's like, only for you.
And then
you asked.
And our poor, okay, what about, speaking of jungle, what about that flaming tiger? Oh my goodness, that was cool. I was like, oh, what? Okay, we get animals in the mix in a way? What?
This is why we had to have a kata in this movie, because we spent this whole time with Rengoku and we got to see some fun stuff, but we didn't really get to see him off the chain. Now
Yeah.
we get that, and it's one of those like, oh boy, oh boy.
Yes.
I keep hitting my left mic when I'm doing this. It's in a very dangerous position. It's like, oh dear, oh dear. This is why they tell us to be careful what we wish for, isn't it? He's bleeding. Oh
Yeah.
god. He's bleeding, and that episode preview was a little worrying.
Yes.
One favorite.
And then just how it ends, and it's Tanjiro and Inosuke going, them being concerned makes you concerned. Like, are you okay? You know?
One beer.
It's like, so I think they ended it well for that episode of a great cliffhanger, and you just have to know what happens next. And even the post credit, like,
Yeah, it was
are you okay? Okay. Like, don't play with our emotions like this.
Part of me was expecting it to turn around and like be a gag to just kind of release tension.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do it kind of goofy too, and I'm all, no, it's
and then they didn't, and it's like, oh, I don't feel better. Oh no.
Mm-mm.
Oh no.
No.
And then next week is the last episode in this arc, but then I believe the week after that, on the 5th, we just go straight into the next season.
Which that times out nicely.
I have them,
or it's
well, I think
soon.
I have those dates correct. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. If anybody knows right off the top of their head, please comment down below. But yeah, I think it was around that time, because it was beginning of December, and we're pretty much almost December, which is like, what?
Yeah. It's American Thanksgiving this weekend, or this week.
Yes.
So my sense of time is just.
Yeah. Anything else on that episode that we didn't chat about?
I mean, that was basically the two halves of it. Was we're gonna get rid of the last of the lower six, and then we're gonna introduce you to what the upper six is like. Welcome to hell.
Yes.
Like, great, cool, awesome. Yikes.
Shout out to Giga Derek in the chat. Yes. I was like, sorry, excuse me.
Shopping connection and everything.
Yes. We gotta love, but welcome. I was just adjusting my lighting too. Yeah, I don't think anything else I think that, as we said, good spot to end it. I think that timing ends well too, in terms of this will be the end of this arc, which is a good refresher if you watch the film, because then it's like, hey, remember all these things that happened, which will lead us into the next season. So, yes.
One more thing, actually. Think about it now. Because this was, most of this episode was fight, but just that very poignant, like, growing old and dying is part of the ephemeral nature of being a human. So it's like, it's not something to fear, it's not something to avoid, it's something that happens to everyone. Yeah. And I really appreciated the clash of grounded in humanity versus forget humanity, I'm gonna live forever. Like, the ideological clash there was fun, and the hey, this happens to everyone is really touching, especially after 2 years where the globe has been dealing with some difficult things.
So, well, one, it makes me think like the argument of vampires, like live forever, and it's how they sometimes some stories they don't like it. Yeah, exactly. Also, kind of a big pivot, not the same genre, but it's Women Who Run with Wolves is a book, and there's the concept of life, death, life cycle, and how death isn't the end, and it's just another point of energy in another stage. And it really delves into how we as human beings have been taught to fear that in many cultures, but many cultures are like, no, that's just part of the cycle of life. And but it's hard to deal with as a human being, and like people you care about dying, and then your own mortality. So yes, it's interesting having an anime address a topic that's so real to everyone and be like, nope, it's part of it.
Because shonen animes do a lot of, well, either he needs to survive, or we don't have a plot, or revolving door of death. A number of them are guilty of revolving door of death. So to have one just clearly lay out the stakes and then say, yeah, no, this is all part of the human experience, it's fine. I'm not afraid of it. It's just so good. So good.
Yeah, Demon Slayer, I really appreciate how the stakes are high and it's not everybody's just going to survive. I mean, Tanjiro is going to live for a really long time,
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, our main core, like, group that we started the show with are probably, like, most shows, your main core characters like that are going to live for a long time. But we've met characters along the way that have had been in peril, or, they approach it healing them in ways, like they were able to get to the healer demon woman way back. I'm not remembering her name right now, but yeah, but like they were like, okay, cool, we're gonna help somebody, and then it, like, goes from there. So it makes it more realistic, and it's not just oh, let's go, I'm just gonna heal myself magic and I'm fine. It's like, okay.
I mean, breathing your wound closed was definitely,
that's really cool. That's kind of magic.
It's our shown power system. We kind of have to work with, like, this is what it does, this is how we do these things. Like, you knew something was going to be a little wild. It's already a little wild, but just
I'm okay with that. I buy it. Well, like, okay, they keep it grounded in the sense of, it's like any story, book, whatever, anime show. If whatever rules are made within your world, as long as you stick to them, it makes sense. So we've already established how the breathing technique does intense stuff, and what Tanjiro's journey of breathing technique and all the, like, how he fights so well. And that's like, oh, and it can heal wounds. All right, that tracks. I buy it,
Fine.
Sure. Okay. Can I do that? I'm like, I want to know that trick. That's a good one.
Yeah, that'd be great. It just presented so matter of factly, like, concentrate, keep concentrating, concentrate harder. Oh, hey, you did it.
Yep. There it is. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Gotta go fight this guy now.
He's like, hold on, I'll be back. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. This episode, man. This was very much the we need to stitch a few things together episode.
Hey, you did a pun too.
Fair.
Stitching.
Yeah.
We do puns here, y'all, but not all the time. But we,
not
sometimes. No, but then sometimes those are the best, where they just kind of come out, and then it's like, oh, yeah. So those are cool. Alrighty. Pew. Okay. And okay. Alrighty. This is our fun segment we have of, like, this is one of our rotating segments of what did you learn this week? This one's just a goofy one for all of you, and so I had a friend send me a Instagram video of a cat, and this ties in, don't worry. And it's like I want to say it was kore nani, and then neko. And so it's like, what's this, cat. And like, that's the music playing. It's just kind of like cutesy wootsy of, like, if you didn't know what it was saying, you're just like, okay, that just sounds kind of fun. But it's literally saying, like, what's this, cat. And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. And it's a cat in the video. So then I had a thought, and I'm like, wait a minute. Nightmare Before Christmas, the song of What's This? Do they have a version of it in Japanese? Go look it up on YouTube. It is far more entertaining than it should be to listen to it. And it is so fun. And I don't remember the name of it, but somebody was commenting on that. Well, go look it up, and you can see in the comments that the person who sang it has done other voice work as well in some anime. But yeah, it's highly entertaining. Just go look up, like, Nightmare Before Christmas. That I think the song is just called, like, What's This? And just be, like, in Japanese. Please. It's so fun and great for this time of year, and put a smile on your face. And just the enthusiasm, because, I mean, come on, we all do the jokes of, like, nani? What? And so him, like, singing it as a whole song is just give you that serotonin boost for the day.
I have been informed that the Castilian Spanish version of Jack's Lament is incredible.
And I want to check that out next, because that sounds fun.
Yeah. My roommate, who's the one who informed me, is yelling from downstairs. It's like, yes, correct. Yeah. Fun fact.
Yes.
And this is something I learned a while ago, but I work in this industry. if you how you're watching something on Netflix, whatever, and you have the option to skip to the next episode, or you have the option to watch the credits. If you watch all the way through the credits, start looking at like who does the companies, who does the companies. Wow, I'm already on vacation. Who does the dubbing? Who does the subtitling? What companies
Okay.
are behind this? You'll start seeing a lot of the same names, and it's a lot, and it's possible that this is just fun to me because I can sit there and go, "Did we do this? Did we do this?" They go, oh, "It's us," or "It's a subsidiary," or "Those bastards, it's not us." But it's always interesting to see beyond the English who continually does the German dubs, the Brazilian Spanish, the Castilian Spanish, yeah. Because you've got your normal English dub or your normal English dub if it's an English-speaking property. But then you go through everything else and go, how many languages in this? And how many countries, how many companies did they use? And it's so interesting to me. And again, it's partially because I now work in this industry. So I've got a little bit of a peek behind the curtain.
Have you seen the Let It Go in multiple languages from Frozen?
I feel like at one point I did.
Okay. And yeah, anybody who's watching, listening, go also look up Let It Go Frozen, but type in like multiple languages. And whoever put it out and edited it, I mean, probably Disney, but like the people who put it together, it flows so effortlessly between the different languages. You get to see the different singers. They say what country it's from and like what country that language is representing, and the language. And it's just super cool to hear, because it's similar to the Nightmare Before Christmas thing. That song. So to hear it and how that rhythm changes per other languages is just so cool. And yeah, same. It's just really interesting. And just seeing like how many versions of it exist in the world.
And I mean, dubbers and subtitlers work so hard, and localization translators work so hard because idioms don't work the same from language to language. Puns don't work the same from language to language. Like, localization, and then understanding the culture of one language to another, where in English we might just come right out and say, "I love you." In another language, they might use a metaphor. They might use a different turn of phrase. They might avoid it completely because saying something like that is rude. Like there's so much nuance that goes into it, and that's why Google Translate is always really weird. That's why it's so difficult sometimes to convey the exact meaning of something in a different language, because the words literally do not exist, or there's so much cultural influence in a certain phrase or a certain tone that it can't be translated into another language. Like it's wild what they have to do. And the fun part for me is because I speak French kind of mostly. I'm out of practice. When I first watched Evangelion, there was the option for a French dub, so I did that. And so it was a lot of
how was it
subtitles with it's closer to the Japanese, and then hearing the French and hearing the differences, and also practice because I was in high school.
Sure.
But it's always interesting if you know a second language, swap something or something that you're watching subtitled in English to that other language, and just kind of run a mental comparison. It's fun. I'm a nerd.
I was like, I don't know if necessarily it's an equal, and if you like anime, you like Japanese language per se. I mean, generally, I would assume a lot of us do. Not everyone. But that also makes me think the localization of it too. There's I don't remember which Bollywood movie it's in, but there's one, and they're talking about a famous guy, and it's Shah Rukh Khan. And if you watch any Bollywood, you'd know who that is. But the English translation of it is like Brad Pitt. And if you're listening, they do not say Brad Pitt, but per the equivalence of like, ooh, famous, attractive male actor, they're like, yes. And so that was just so funny to watch, because I was like, that's not what they said. But if you aren't familiar with it, you'd be like, okay, that's I don't know who that name is, Yeah.
That sure is a guy they're talking about.
Yes.
It's like you're watching it in America and they go, Brad Pitt. You're like, oh, the human who does the thing. Even if I'm not in what he does, I know that name.
Yes.
my favorite tracks like that I've ever seen. And this is, again, take a trip in the Wayback Machine, Excel Saga, which I have on DVD,
Oh, yeah.
which is definitely a trip. It had a subtitle track where it would give you the English subtitles, but it would also point out every joke and cultural reference they were making on screen. So sometimes
Oh,
the
okay,
screen
that's
would
cool.
be extremely cluttered,
Mm,
but because Excel Saga is just as visual as it is audio gag, which is why
yes.
the fun part with Excel, the episode with Excel goes to America and she starts speaking broken English. In the English dub, she starts speaking broken Spanish. But Excel Saga was really on it for it wasn't EDV. I don't remember what company did it. Excel Saga was very much on it for I want to say, early 2000s dub. Like, we're not going to see something like that again. But that extra subtitle track was just all the references explained. And you have to keep pausing it because sometimes like 10 on the screen.
Yeah, it's
wild.
like the anime where it's like different signs in the background too, and it's nice when they include what it is. You're like, wait, what's going on? Alrighty.
Yeah. Excel Saga is, I don't know how well it holds up 20 odd years later, but it's a lot. It's a good lot, but it's a lot.
It was a while ago. Yes. Oh, actually, speaking of stuff that was out a while ago, get us to our segment of stuff you should check out / anime we're watching, because sometimes we cover new anime as well, but the one I was going to talk about is much older. Well, not maybe much, but I'm like, oh, it's not new. I finally started watching. Say it again.
I was gonna say, we're not talking about Skate the Infinity again, because
No, that's a new one, all things considered. No, older one is Kami-sama Kiss. It came out in 2012. And it is, I had a manga of it like a long time ago, like I got to read a preview one or something and thought it was cute. And I'm like, okay, I like the vibe of this. This is fun. But then I finally was like, oh, okay, I want to watch it. So I was like, here, let me pull it. Oh, it is very fun. It's like, I saw online and it said something was like, it's kind of half Inuyasha and Fruits Basket. And I'm like, sure, but take that, but make it a bit spicier. And I was like, oh, okay, because like the opening theme song, I was like, okay, is it me or does this have a little more like, oh, excuse me? Oh, okay. And it's kind of like, I'm going to be I don't want to be a good girl or something cheesy like that, but it's like, say what? And it's about a girl who is given essentially the power of a god and goes to a shrine and is having to take care of it. And she gets a familiar, and that kind of has that like relationshipy stuff, but it almost borders on like it does that nice border of like because it's not as consensual, but the way they're doing it, it's like fun tension. It's one of those, you'll just have to see it. It's not bad, but it is one of those like he's under her control, of like it's a spell of you are my, you're my familiar, you got to do what I tell you to do. And he's like reluctant, but then it's also, he wants to protect her because then he starts falling for her a little bit. So it has those things where you're like, oh, it's so cute and romantic. But then there's other things where you're like, this is a little more, and I say spicy because it's not necessarily like hot and heavy stuff, but it has like, okay, like Fruits Basket, I don't think ever really got like super spicy. It's a more on the mild side, and it's cutesy and romantic. So Kami-sama Kiss is if you want that vibe, but a little more sexy, you should check it out. It's very fun, and it's just cute style and stuff. Also, real quick though, before I throw it over you to Katie, got us in the chat. We got Giga Derek says, this week I learned how to play half a song on the guitar. That's awesome. Congratulations. Music is definitely a challenge for most people, so that's awesome.
Okay, but what song though?
Oh yeah, true. What song, Giga? What song did you learn?
Was it Crazy Brain?
Yes. Is it anime theme song? Is it like a classic rock song? What are we talking here? Yes. So Katie, what is some stuff you've been watching?
So, in terms of keeping it anime, I did watch the first episode of Tell Me Can't Communicate. It's on Netflix. It came very highly recommended. and it's a fun little slice of life show about this very competitive high school and this girl who goes there, and everyone's immediately, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Oh my gosh, she's popular. She's amazing. She can't talk to people. Like, extremely high social anxiety, can't talk to people.
Okay.
And the one guy in her class who figures it out and is trying to help her come out of shell. It's very cute. It's very well animated. Very well animated. It is a little too slice of life to really keep me hooked for long. Like, when I watched it, I want to say early this week, it is early this week. Last week, there were 4 episodes, I think, so far on Netflix. And instead of going down and just going through them all, I think I just did the one. Because it's good. It's not my speed. But if you are
that's fair. Slice of life is tricky.
But if you are a slice of life, school life, social anxiety sort of person, like, if this is like your jam, it is extremely well executed. Do the thing. What I would actively recommend, because if we're going to go into the holiday season and you may or may not be traveling, and depending on how things are, you may or may not need to retreat from crowds or family or places you don't want to be. You want something to listen to. So everyone should watch Critical Role. Because if we're going to recommend the Behemoth, we go for it. For those not familiar, in terms of our investment, it's not quite akin to recommending someone get into One Piece. We're not quite at that level, but it's still quite a bit. Critical Role is best described in its introduction as a bunch of nerdy actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. So it's Matt Mercer, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, like that caliber. And they are all amazing people. Oh my god. And it's a D&D campaign. So it's them playing their characters in character. Matt's the DM. So he's playing like 50 characters. It's great. And the different stories they weave. There have been 3 campaigns so far. They just started the 3rd one, so that's the easiest one to jump onto. And Robbie Damon is playing with them right now, and it's absolutely incredible. So it can be a lot to get into, especially if you have trouble with narrative stuff or with paying attention for episodes that go on for anywhere between 3 to 5 hours. And some of them hit 7 because we're all crazy people. And it's a D&D game, and if you play, you know that this could go on for forever, depending on how things go. But it's really good. I highly recommend it. And if you have not seen it around, they're making an animated adaptation of one of the more impactful arcs in season 1. They're working with Titmouse Animation, and it's going to be on Amazon Prime, on Amazon Video, rather. I want to say February 4th. January 4th, February 4th. Soon. So, yes, if you want a quizzy jumping on point, season 3 just started. There are only 4 episodes in it. That's a long end to listen to. So if you're traveling for a while, download the YouTube video or the audio podcast, because they do that. Give a listen. It's a very good time. I enjoy it. It's made me laugh. It absolutely made me cry. The arc they're adapting straight up floored me the first time I listened to it. So yeah, highly recommend it.
I'm familiar, but yes, I have not watched any of it. Giga Derek mentioned in the chat, we asked what song they have learned to play, and it's from Gundam Wing, The Wings of a Boy That Killed Adolescence. It plays when Wing Gundam first transforms. Very cool. Nice. It's all about learning theme song stuff too. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Kami-sama Kiss was probably the only new one. Also, I wanted to add, speaking of Slice of Life, it reminded me, something interesting they have in the show, she's an anime character who's homeless, essentially. And I'm like, that's an interesting plot line, because her dad is gets into gambling debt, bails on her, and that's how she ends up where she is, because she's like, I'm literally homeless. I have nowhere to go. And she helps someone out just because she's a good person. And then that is I have somewhere you can stay. And of course, there's a lot more details that they omit on this information, but at least she has somewhere to stay and they have people to take care of her. So I'm like, oh, that's cute. Then I was going to say Still continuing watching Cowboy Bebop, the animated. I have not watched the live action yet. If you've watched it, let us know your thoughts. No need to be horrible if you hate it, and be gentle.
Be chill.
Yeah, be chill. Because I do want to check it out. And no spoilers on it, because I know there's some changes and stuff. But I have been going back through the animated one. It's still really cool. It's available on Netflix or on Funimation. I'm on like, I think episode 17 or so out of 25. So
Yes,
it's fun to rewatch. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you
and then
talk about it in the comments, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Everyone's allowed to express that opinion. You must express that opinion respectfully.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
That's yes. You're free to disagree.
It's art. It's subjective. Yes.
But you respect the people you are disagreeing with.
And then calling back to your comment on subs and dubs, so the interesting thing with Cowboy Bebop, it's been interesting to watch it dubbed in English and reading the subtitles and seeing what some of the changes are. I'd say overall in the dub, they shied away from some of the swear words, like they didn't say ass or something like that. It's maybe some things are similar, but some things do change it a bit that you're like, okay, well, that's like, it doesn't change entire stories, but it's more just moments. They're like, okay, that's just interesting. Yeah. So that's a cool one. Let us know.
Like, if I'm remembering it correctly, the creator preferred the dub over the sub.
That's a good, I would be curious if, I think that's one of my favorite dubs of, I feel the voice is for those characters, feel they fit very well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely
yes.
It's very well done. One of those gold standard, you know?
Yes. Let us know any of anime or new shows, books, whatever, manga. Please comment down below on what stuff you're checking out. And if you're hunkering down and watching stuff over the holidays, I know some people, you're chilling at home more. So maybe you're getting around to that show finally. Ooh, actually, that's a throwback because someone messaged me on Twitter. A show on Netflix. And then speaking of other languages, it is a German show. I watched it in German. I did not watch dub it. It was really cool to watch in German to hear just the rhythm of how they speak and everything. Tribes of Europa is really cool if you kind of like post-apocalyptic action fantasy vibes, because it's post-technology, like something happens, and so there are different tribes in Europe. So tribes of Europa, like there's kind of the hippie tribe, there's a warrior tribe, there's a military tribe, there's an Amazonian tribe, kind of, and just how they all interact with each other. It's not super long. I really hope they get more of it. It also has some of the actors who were in the Netflix German series Dark. If you're a fan of that, it had some actors from that who, like the main guy is so stoic and dark, and on Tribes of Europa, he's very playful and animated. It was like, damn, you're a really good actor, because I felt like that's a completely different person. So do recommend Tribes of Europa. That's a really good one. Any other ones you want to recommend, Katie?
Yeah, it's completely wild. It's a, I want to say, it's an old movie called The King, and I just watched it this weekend. Last time I laughed so hard in a movie. It's kind of a Hood story with the serial numbers, instead of focusing on the Hood character. We got this guy who obviously took it out. Like, he is incredibly quick-witted and fun. He really just being on the act, but he keeps getting pulled for other things instead. And he winds up impersonating a jester at the king's court. Because, it's a false king, they took over, trying to get out, he has a right flair, all of that. But 80% of this plot is this jester being either in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. Still so managing to say things. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, but it is so cool and so fresh, so light. Like, it was a treat. It was an absolute delight.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like connection's a little spotty. So I was trying to listen to you on another headphone, and I'm like, wait, Is it just this headphone? This is my phone. So if anybody watching, listening, apologies for any of our, yes, yes, Katie, the internet's not liking you today.
That's because I'm right. It's come out as you cut out. I'm like, oh. Well, this is right.
Well, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like there's pauses and then you sound like you're talking super fast. Like it's the internet's catching back up to you. So anyway, those of us joining us, thank you for dealing with all our technical difficulties. We're in two very different spaces. And so, sometimes one end is going great and other times it's something else. And one day, the wind's blowing different and it's like, Katie, because it is going a little weird. If you could say the title again, because I was like, I couldn't hear what the title was.
The King's Jester.
The King's Jester. Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I'm sorry you got to cut off your enthusiasm on it, but the internet does not like you today. Also, I'm like looking at mine. I'm like, is there a delay on mine too? I'm like, I don't know, but it's okay.
I'm used to the internet not liking it.
Yes, it's just that kind of night. It's a case of the Mondays for the internet today, and it's like, you know what? Yeah. All right. So.
All right, well, I can take a hint. Internet. Not people on the internet. The internet itself.
It was fine for most of it, and then it was like, I don't know what but I think that will bring us to the end of our time. So thank you everybody who tuned in, and thank you for sticking with us through technical glitches and stuff. It really means a lot to us, and we're here to share our love of the different stuff we're into with all of you. So please, if you're into different shows, movies, manga, all that, let us know what you are watching, reading, all that. Love to keep that discussion going. And to keep the discussion going with you, Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at KiaXet, KiaXet. If you like reaction videos, then
alrighty.
Little channel over her.
Yes. And y'all can find me, there we go, Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. It's on. I also host with a different kind of outlet, Dia TV. There's a recent interview I did for a new indie movie out right now, and it's called India Sweet Spices. It is semi-slice of life. Girl goes home for the summer and learns more stuff about her family than she knew. It's very fun, great for the holidays movie. I definitely also love indie cinema, so you should check that out. There's links to it on different pages of mine. And check us out on Fanversation. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We have a recommendation. Yay, thank you from the chat. Giga Derek says, last recommendation, Big O. Yes, I was like, I remember watching that one. Yes. But yeah, find us online, and you can also see in the description, it's a little bit old, but if you haven't gotten to it yet, we have the playlist for our My Hero Academia red carpet from World Heroes Rising that's in the description, as well as on the Fanversation site, the Animation is Film Festival playlist. And also on that My Hero thing, by the way, there's older interviews, if you haven't got to them, that Katie has done as well, too. So all kinds of anime content for your viewing pleasure. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy holidays, whatever you are celebrating. And if you're just chilling, hope you have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care. Bye.